next lesson, Unit 12, talking about the pronouns. In this lesson, we want to talk about special type of pronoun, which is called relative pronoun. And we already know that pronouns are used to replace the noun. For example, Ahmed drove the van yesterday. I can replace Ahmed with he and say he drove the van yesterday. So this is the regular pronoun. The one we are talking about today, which is relative pronoun, are special because they do two jobs. The first one, they do like the regular pronoun, they replace the noun. يعني بيجوا مكان الnoun. And the second thing they do is act as a conjunction, which is the word used to connect sentences, the conjunctions. And the relative pronoun is related to the noun that comes before it. So I need to go to the noun that comes before the relative pronoun and look at it in order to decide which relative pronoun I'll use. So the relative pronoun I have, for example, who, and it's used for people in the subject place. This is used for people, and when these people are in the subject place of the second sentence, of course. Which and that is used for things, for example, table, chair, and so on, when I'm talking about things, not people. Whom is also used for people, just like who, but whom is used for people in the object place. So the people I'm talking about in the sentence need to be in the object place. Whose is used for ownership, to say that this thing I am talking about belongs to someone. So for example, whose car, العربيته, whose chair, الكرسي بتاعه. يعني the thing I'm talking about is belonging to someone else. So this is all the relative pronouns I have, and we will use them in sentences in a minute, and you will understand it a lot more. The one thing I want to note here is who and whom. We don't really need to care about mixing the two. It's very nice if you understand is it the subject or the object I'm talking about. This is very good. But in any way, in our level, in grade 5, ما هيجيبوا لنا who and whom together in the same question. So the first question we have is a focus question in page 28. And in this question, I have an empty space and I need to fill it with which or who or that. Like we said, which or that is exactly the same. I can use whatever one I want. Is correct. And who is for people, and which and that is for things, if I'm talking about things or animals. So the first sentence I have is that's the badger. Empty space comes into our garden. In the empty space, like you see, I put which or that, whatever I like, because I'm talking about a badger. I will go to the thing before the empty space, which is the badger, and the badger is an animal, so I use which or that. The second sentence, this letter is from my pen friend, empty space, lives in America. So I will go to the word before the empty space, which is my pen friend. And pen friend, it means a friend that I exchange letters with. We write to each other letters. So it's a person, it's someone. So I use who because it's people. In the third sentence, I want to go back to the park. Empty space has a boating lake. Here I will use which or that because the park, which is before the empty space, زي ما قلنا بمشي قبال الفراغ أشوف الكلمة قباله. Is it a thing or someone, person? لو هي زول هستعمل who. لو هي thing هستعمل which or that. So here I will use which. And in sentence number 4, the doctor, empty space, visited me, was very kind. So here the doctor, of course, is a person, someone. So I will use who. The last sentence, the topic, empty space, which, the topic, empty space, we are doing in school is very interesting. So here the thing I'm talking about, which is before the empty space, the topic. The topic is something اللي هو كلمة موضوع. So it's something, it's not someone, it's not a person. So I will use here which or that. So like you can see, this is the more complicated question, and in this question I have two sentences and I need to join them together. So for example, number one, I found an old coin, and the second sentence, the second part is the coin was used in Roman times. So I need to connect these two sentences together. Right now they are separate. So the answer will be I found an old coin. The first sentence I put it as it is. Nothing changes. So as it is. And then I see the thing I am talking about. Okay, what am I talking about? The thing before the empty space, or the thing repeated in two sentences. So the old coin is the thing repeated in the first sentence and the second sentence. So I will put that because coin is a thing. Coin is not a person. Coin يعني العملة النقدية اللي هي العملة الصغيرة الحديدة. Okay, this is coin. So coin is a thing. It means I'll use that or which. So I put that, and then the second sentence I don't start it from the beginning. I delete the repeated words. Okay, يعني I already talked about the coin in the first sentence. So in the second sentence I will delete the coin. Why؟ لأنه already اتكلمت عنها في الجملة الأولى. So I will delete the coin. يعني second sentence هتبدأ من was used in Roman times. يعني السنتنس الكبيرة بتاعتي بقت I found an old coin that was used in Roman times. عملت شنو يا جماعة؟ حذفت الحاجة المكررة من sentence رقم number 2. دي أول حاجة عملتها. Okay, and secondly I chose which or that or who على حسب the thing I am talking about اللي هو قبل الفراغ طوالي. قبل that ولا هو ولا which عندي حاجة أنا قاعد أتكلم عنها. Is it a person؟ لو هي person هقول who. لو هي thing or animal زي هنا coin عملة نقدية هقول which or that. So sentence number 2, we have two cousins. Our cousins live by the sea. So this is my two sentences. And a repeated thing هو cousins طبعا. So I will erase our cousins من الجملة الثانية. I will delete it. هحذفها. يعني الجملة رقم 2 هتبقى بتبدأ من live by the sea. And the first sentence هكتبها زي ما هي طبعا. So we have two cousins. I am talking about people here. Cousins اللي هم أولاد الخيران أولاد العم. So I am talking about people ناس. معناها هقول who. We have two cousins. الجملة الأولى زي ما هي. بعدين a relative pronoun which is who ولا which or that. So who لأنه أنا بتكلم عن ناس. And then the second sentence live by the sea. So we have two cousins who live by the sea. Number 3, Sam bought a book. The book was about fishing. الحاجة المكررة هحذفها هي the book of course لأني قلت a book في the first sentence. معناها هحذف the book من الجملة الثانية. طبعا أنا لما أحذف دائما بحذف من the second sentence مع the first sentence. So Sam bought a book تقعد زي ما هي. And then I will use which or that. Why? Because here I'm talking about a book, which is a thing, حاجة. And the second sentence will start from was. So was about fishing. My full sentence is Sam bought a book which was about fishing. Number 4, he waved at his friend, and his friend was on the other side of the road. So I will put the first sentence like always. He waved to his friend. And then I will say who, because here I'm talking about his friend, which is a person, someone. I will say who. And then I'll start the second sentence from was. No, his friend again. لأنه already قلنا his friend في الجملة الأولى. So I will start from was. Was on the on the other side of the road. So the full sentence is, or he waved to his friend who was on the other side of the road. Sentence number 5, Sally is a nurse and Sally works with old people. So the repeated thing here is Sally. معناها هحذف Sally from the second sentence. I'll delete it. The first sentence as it is, Sally is a nurse. And then I'll say who. Why? Because I'm talking about Sally or the nurse, which is a person, someone. So Sally is a nurse who works with old people. حذفت Sally from the sentence number 2. So this is everything I need to do when they give me separate sentence. I need to change some stuff in sentence number 2. I put sentence number 1 as it is, and then I choose which or who or that, and then I put sentence number 2 after I change it بعد ما أحذف الحاجات المكررة. So the last question we have is the extension question, which is in page 29, and this question also with an empty space, and they want me to add whose or whom, and to make difference between the two. Whose, of course, we said is for ownership. It means the thing after it belongs to the someone before it. So for example, if we look at the first sentence, I know the man whose car was stolen. What I'm saying here is the car which was stolen, this car belongs to the man. Okay, belongs to the man. يعني الكار دي حقت الزول الراجل ده. So I know the man whose car was stolen. So after whose always will come a noun, such as car, phone, table, chair, whatever, any noun. Always I will have a noun that can belong to someone before whose. So the whose is very easy because after it there is always a noun. It's not like the whom, which after it comes most of the times comes a verb, such as does, did, is, and stuff like that. So the first sentence we said, I know the man whose car was stolen. Here I'm trying to say that the car that was stolen belongs to the man. So the second sentence, from empty space did you borrow this book? And in here I'm trying to ask about people. And I'm trying to ask about people in which place. If you look at the sentence, the verb is borrow. And who did the borrow? Who is the subject? The subject is you. So here the subject is you. It means I am asking about the object. And this is what we said at the beginning of the lesson. We said who is to ask about or to talk or ask about subject. Whom is for object. So here I'm asking about the object. It means I'll use whom. So from whom did you borrow this book? I am asking about a person in the object place. The next sentence, empty space bag is this. And in this sentence, I want to ask about the owner of the word bag, of the owner of the bag. Whose bag is this? So like we said, after the empty space, again, it's a noun. Just like the first sentence, it was car, and car is a noun. Here in the third sentence, it's bag, and bag is a noun. So also whose. In the last sentence, this is Fred, empty space, brother went to school with me. And here I will say whose because I want to make the brother I am talking about البرذر مش المدرسة عايدة أخليه حق منه. I want to make it Fred's. Okay, ده أخليه حق Fred يعني الأخو ده هو أخو Fred. Okay, so this is Fred whose brother أخوه مشى معايا المدرسة went to school with me. So very nice. This is everything about the whose and whom.